Hey, Fear Buster Friday. Oh my gosh, take two. Hey, Fear Buster friends. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, hey, Fear Buster friends, or let's say, hey, Fear Buster Friday. Fear Buster friends are coming to get you. Oh, I crack myself up. Okay, so hey, Fear Buster friends. What day is it? Fear Buster Friday. Woohoo! Happy Fear Buster Friday. Oh my goodness. Your Fear Buster coach is in the house. I don't know why there's a window popping up here. Let's close that. Okay. Your Fear Buster coach is in the house. Fear Buster Friday is when we bust our fears, we debunk myths, we change our fears, shift them into freedom, faith, and fun. All right. What are we doing? Well, until I'm all finished with this book on Fearbuster Fridays, we are reading Price Pritchett's U Squared. And without further ado, here we go. So we're on page 13 and 14. Think beyond what common sense would allow. Okay, think beyond what common sense would allow. It's time to start focusing on possibilities rather than on limits or obstacles. Making a quantum leap means moving outside your mental boundaries. If you will rethink how you're thinking, you can multiply your performance potential. You must let go you must let your desires guide you instead of allowing yourself to be boxed in by perceived constraints. Well, I would say that's like letting go. Seeking the quantum leap means violating the boundary of the probable. It means achieving well beyond the obvious. Okay, now I've lost my place. Okay, so don't limit your desires to what you think you can have. Start going after what you want. This means you must give yourself permission to dream, to risk. You must set yourself free. A 10 or 20% improvement isn't the idea at all. That would represent only incremental gains. That might be an impressive performance in some situations, like if there were unusual obstacles or a very difficult set of circumstances. But while such a goal might be challenging, it would not represent a quantum leap. Instead of an additional 10% or so, a quantum leap produces a dramatic and multiple gain, an exponential increase. Quantum leaps are, by definition, rather astounding, certainly unconventional. Don't get the idea that absolutely anything you can think of is possible. It isn't. But in some areas of your life, what lies within your reach is enough to stagger the mind. You can double your level of success, triple it. Far beyond that, you can leverage up your performance to the second or third or fourth power or beyond. True, there are limits, but you don't need to worry about them. Your real limits are far beyond your artificial mental boundaries. The real limits won't box you in, but the false ones you're carrying around in your mind are a self-imposed prison. So how do you break out of that jail? Through surrender. You have to forfeit some of your old beliefs and sacrifice some of those sensible thinking patterns. So-called common sense can be a curse that puts a ceiling on how far you reach or how high you fly. U squared, the quantum leap strategy, is based on uncommon sense. How did you like that? Put some comments in. I love to read your comments. I see that I get lots of views and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But let's start commenting and sharing, love and like, and I want to see some engagement here. Let me unpack some of this for you about this uncommon sense. We got to think beyond what common sense would allow. And I think I'm going to take a few words from what I read here because I think they're very powerful. One of the words is permission. We have to give ourselves permission to achieve a quantum leap. You know, too often we're just kind of stuck in this sort of path and we just don't give ourselves permission. It's okay. You can double or triple your income. You can feel double or triple or quadruple your health. You could feel healthier. You can have deeper relationships. You can have a career that you love or some sort of, creative energy, like some sort of project you're working on. You can up level that tenfold, okay? It's about setting yourself free. Okay, giving yourself permission is setting yourself free to dream. You can do it. Yeah, there are limitations, all right? So, like I often don't think about that because I'm so focused on, like the sky's the limit, meaning like it can go up and up and up and there's really no limit to the sky. But there is in the sense of the different atmospheres, and then but space in general just keeps going and going. And in fact, there's evidence that shows that the world and the space as we know it is expanding, always expanding. So setting yourself free, yes, there are limitations. And when I think about it, the way it stated in this book is that the real limits, they're not going to limit you. They're not going to box you in. So, I mean, let's talk money, for example. I suppose maybe there's a limit, on the billions or trillions or what have you that you could make. In a sense, there might be a limit. I mean, I don't know. There could be certain limits on other things. But really, when you think about, like, if you really had to think about what is my true limit, I don't know that we could come up with one. but whatever that is, whatever that true limit is, it's so like far beyond. And it doesn't even really matter because, like, if you doubled or tripled something, such as your income, you would be like, wow, that's a lot, And it's really about those false limits that we possess and we keep hanging and holding on to for dear life that are limiting you. So it's not the real so-called limits of success that's limiting you, okay? It's these false ideas that we can't do something. Oh, I can't find love again. I'm too old, for example. Or I can't achieve that amount of money because I've never even done half of that before. Okay? It's those kinds of limiting beliefs that are boxing you in. So give yourself permission to get out of that box. We have to surrender to the freedom of allowing ourselves to have what we want. And that is what this chapter is talking about. It's talking about surrendering. And how do we do that? It's really getting down to what you really want. Okay? So here's your Fear Buster move for Fear Buster Friday. Ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, and journal on these. It's really awesome to journal because things will come out in writing and thinking and writing it out much more so than you just listening to me. Okay, so write this down and journal on it. Let me see, I did write the questions down, so give me a moment here. Oh yes, okay. So number 1 question is, what is boxing me in? You're going to ask yourself that and journal on it. What is boxing me in? In other words, what's holding you back? You know, what's that false limit that you're carrying around with you? Okay, that's number 1. Journal on what's boxing you in. Number 2 question to ask yourself and journal on is, if I give myself permission to dream, what do I really want? What do I really want? Okay, and just journal on that. Let yourself free. Don't give yourself any limitations. Don't think about, well, what can I have? That's not the question. It's what do I really want? And also, what would I really love? They kind of go hand in hand, but the love part puts a little more, you know, vibration, high vibration energy into it. Okay? What would really light you up inside? Okay? Awesome, friends. Awesome, Fear Buster friends. Awesome. Awesome job. So write those down. Go journal on them. And I want to hear from you. Let me know how you're doing out there. Let me know what's boxing you in up until now. Let me know, if you give yourself permission to dream, what is it that you really want? What would you love? Put it in the comments, okay? I would love to hear it. All right, and remember, what do we say? To make every day a Fear Buster Day. Bye for now.